Where is Woj? Because we need to know. Listen to this. Bradley Beal is averaging 35 points a game. That's leading the entire league, but Washington has one of the worst records in the NBA. Adrian Wojnarowski, please help us with
That'd be good on the Pistons,
Bradley Beal.
Maria, guys, there are no shortage of teams in the league who are monitoring the Bradley Beal situation in Washington, who would love to get involved in trying to acquire Beal, but he's not available, and that's chiefly because he's not interested in a trade right now. And I talked to his agent, Mark Bartelstein, this week, and he said that the only thing he and Beal have been talking about is how to get this Wizards season turned around. And while they're 3-12, they're still just one loss in the loss column, you know, behind or three losses, excuse me, behind the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. So right now they're starting to get players out of the COVID protocol, a chance here to become more competitive. But there's a sense, and I think a hope in Washington, you know, that they can address the Beal situation after the season and not have to deal with it by the March 25th deadline, because Washington absolutely does not want to trade Bradley Beal.
Ooh, I bet they don't, Woj, right now, averaging 35 points a game. But it's been an up-and-down season, obviously, with the COVID protocols. But not for Jason Tatum. He's playing really well right now. He had 41 points the last time he played against the Lakers. So he's looking forward to pulling that off again, because his guy, Paul Pierce, will be here cheering for him, hoping that he can do it yet again. When we come back on NBA Countdown, from KD to Steph Curry to LeBron James, obviously Kobe Bryant was a formative figure for those stars. We're going to hear their stories from the league's elite. All-Star weekend was canceled, but the talks have resumed, and where are we now with the future of the All-Star game?
Maria, the league and the Players Association are talking about an All-Star game in Atlanta the weekend of March 6th and 7th. That's during the NBA's mid-season break. And, you know, what they're talking through is kind of a scaled-down version of what All-Star looks like without all of the outside things that go with what's usually, you know, a significant gathering of league people. Can they do something where they can just play the game, get players in and out? You know, maybe do some of the three-point contests, the dunk contest. Could that be a part of it? Do they do it over 2 days or 1 day? But there's momentum toward getting an agreement on it. They're not there yet. But they've been talking here through the weekend. They've got to decide pretty soon. Well,
you know, I can think of one Celtics player that might be okay with there being an All-Star game in Atlanta. His name is Jaylen Brown. He played high school ball in Marietta. That's 18 miles from State Farm Arena. What would you make about the way that he's transitioned his game and what could be his first All-Star season?
He's absolutely an All-Star this season. And, you know, it's funny. He was asked the other day about the improvements he made to this year. And he's like, guys, there wasn't really an off season. I've had this in my game. And what's really changed for him is opportunity. But prior, when it was Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward and Al Horford, as those players left, he's had a bigger role with this team. And, you know, when he did that 4-year, $115 million extension, you know, his agent, Jason Bluchon, talked to the Celtics, and the comps he used is look at James Harden in Oklahoma City when he was the third wheel with Durant and Westbrook. You know, look at Kawhi Leonard in his first couple of years. Players, all three of them, lots of playoff games, 43 playoff games for Jaylen Brown and his first few seasons. And you've seen now that's exactly how it's played out for Jaylen Brown. But he has become absolutely one of the best two-way players in the league.
Yeah, career highs in points, assists, field goal percentage right now. That's pretty impressive. So that brings up a good question. Who you got? Okay, Jalen Rose, Paul Pierce. We're building out the Celtics. You only get one to start off your team. Who are you rolling with?
Go ahead, Jay. So here's the thing. Like, this gentleman's a champion, a finals MVP, and a Hall of Famer, Maria. So, of course, Jason Tatum is going to be his guy. That's the can't-miss prospect. He's silky smooth. He's a terrific scorer. He might have 40 points tonight. But for me, Jaylen Brown can fit in anywhere. He's +7 this year scoring. He's a lockdown defender. He improved his ball handling and his mid-range shot. While Tatum is going to be the guy that people consider the best player, I think Jaylen Brown is the leader. What are your thoughts,
Well,
Paul
you
Pierce?
can't go wrong with either one of them, but we know Jason Tatum took the leap last year. We saw what his play during the regular season and the playoffs, and we're starting to see that from Jaylen Brown, and this is what everybody has been looking for. And I'll tell you what, yes, he's had more opportunity, but the biggest change in this game that I see personally is his confidence. He's a more confident player, and you can see it in his swagger when he steps on the court. Now, yes, I'll take Jason Tatum, but you can't go wrong with either one of them, and so look, and that's why you have a dynamic duel in both of them. And quiet as kept, the viewers don't even know Jaylen Brown is their leading scorer right now.
Oh, let them know.
They're the East Coast version of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But the confusion thing is I think Jaylen is Kawhi, and I think Tatum is PG.
Listen, you said quiet as kept, quiet as kept. We have a birthday here today, and we're not going to let you get away from us, Jalen Rose, without celebrating it. You came with your all green. We got something special for you. Take a look.
Wow, thank you.
With the 13th pick in the 1994 NBA Draft, the Denver Nuggets select Jalen Rose from the University of Michigan.
I think I'm a tough matchup for a lot of guys.
We give the people what they want. All right.
Well, I do think that Jalen has a nice hairline.
Ooh, how important is school to you? Do you plan to get your degree? Well, it's very important.
Good.
Oh, Jalen, we love you. Happy
Love
birthday.
you guys.
Happy birthday, Jalen.
I'm really humbled. I appreciate the love. Thank you guys very much. And I purposely wear green today on a day like this, trying to be cleaner than the Board of Health, because I'm going to hold down a $20 bill until they give it to Harriet Tubman.
Or he's just cheering for the Celtics today. Let's keep it all the way real.
Well, and there you have it. But he came through with the Timbs because we're also in New York. Happy birthday, Jalen Rose. We love you. We're going to be celebrating all day today, and we're obviously celebrating.
I wish I looked like that.
That was what I was going to say. That is what 36 in your 18th season and having the name LeBron James.
That's how he looked with his shirt off, but take that do-rag off. We'll switch.
All right, guys, today only basketball fans can play in a free through the Lakers-Celtics rivalry. 34 championships combined, split at 17. LeBron and the Lakers are the league's royalty, while Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, they want to come and take the crown. So for the 367th time, basketball fans, we just need you to grab your popcorn, wait for the fireworks as the Lakers and Celtics collide on Saturday prime time.
Took 27 seconds for these two to go out of the game.
You can hate me now.
17. Only 2 teams can point to that number. The rivalry is no coincidence.
You think I would come this far and let you without me now? I hate you again.
One thing I hate in life is the Boston Celtics.
It instigates, motivates, dominates, pushes both sides to new levels of greatness.
Anything's possible! The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles!
What is one without the other? Lakers without Celtics, Boston without LA. What is the rivalry truly about? The only measure, one way. 17 all, 18 is in play.
Welcome to NBA Countdown.
Lakers-Celtics, one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. Welcome to NBA Countdown. We are coming to you live from the Seaport District in New York City, brought to you by Chase. Maria Taylor, alongside Jalen Rose, looking great in green.
What up, though?
Paul Pierce, always representing the Celtics, one of those championships and a finals MVP, but they're split at 17. Paul, it could have been 18 with you guys in 2010. How do you feel? You look salty already.
I'm disgusted. We all know it should be 18-16. 2010, we let them get away. But you have 2 of the most storied franchises going at it to see who's going to go up one.
But your Celtics were the first team to give an NBA Gatorade bath.
When you think of the Celtics,
Nobody's done that since.
when you think of Celtics and the Lakers and the rivalry between the two, what's the first thing that comes to
The
mind?
definition of storied franchises. It's like Lakers, Celtics, Yankees, the NBA. The Hall of Fame is littered with so many players from their teams. Both of those franchises basically have 50% of the championships in the history of the NBA.
Right.
The early incarnation of the NBA was dominated by the Celtics. Once free agency kicked in, the Lakers have found their way to catch up. So this is going to be a great matchup against so many terrific All-NBA performers.
Yeah, and you mentioned the fact about the 17 championships for each, but also the fact that they've produced 18 MVPs. 8 different players have won it over the course of this rivalry. So not only is it great teams, but it's great players. But let's get you set for this matchup, this era of Lakers and Celtics. And it all starts with who is playing with confidence. Brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. How about LeBron James? Yet again, playing at an MVP level this season, currently the favorite to win the award. He is one of 3 players averaging 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists so far this season. And James and the rest of the Lakers got off to a hot start, becoming the 6th team in league history to win each of their first 10 road games of the season. But the streak did come to an end with back-to-back losses this week, including dropping one to the Pistons. That was their first loss by double digits.
Detroit basketball!
They did it for Jalen, but here's LeBron James on his energy level so far this season.
Mindset never gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is a long road trip. I'm exhausted. Or I'm tired. I don't even think about that. You know, when we have our games, I'm ready to go. When we're not playing, you know, I have an opportunity to rest and get my body back right, get my mind refreshed. But I don't get tired.
That's after playing 5 road games, guys, in his 18th season and 36 years old. What impresses you most? Because I feel like we should sit back sometimes and just watch what's happening in front of us.
You're going to appreciate this one. LeBron James is a knockdown shooter.
Yeah.
He's the most efficient NBA player off the dribble from three-point range this season. And you see that little stanky leg? That last right-hand dribble where he stick out his leg, it looked a little funky, P, but that's his balance, and he found his rhythm. He making jumpers, turnaround jumpers, not looking at the rim. I think that's the difference.
Well, we know, like, when you see the great players, as they get older and some things go away from you, you evolve. And that's what we've seen with LeBron. With Jordan, it was the athleticism. He went to the fadeaway. Same thing with Kobe. And now you're seeing that with LeBron. As he's gotten older, he's become a better shooter. And that's just the testament of his greatness.
Yeah, it's impressive to be in your 18th season and